Hey, what's up, Pizza Loving Nerd here. Today I'm gonna talk about Scratch, which is a easy to use programming thing. Creates games, stories, animations, and share with others around the world. And I think this is cool, although I have conflicting interests, or I have not interests. Yeah, I have conflicting thoughts on Scratch. So today I'm just gonna talk about my thoughts on Scratch. So, um, So it's a really easy way to find fun games. I was playing this game earlier, Mirror. So this is probably one of the best Flash game sites in my opinion. The other thing is everything on it is open source. If you wanted to learn how this was made, you could click the See Inside button, and it will show you all the code. So pretty basically everything's open source, and I'd say a remix is like a fork, basically. Um, However, there are some issues with it, in my opinion. For one, the drag and drop editor, while it's cool, the problem is I got used to the drag and drop editor, and then later when I wanted to move on to Python, I had a hard time with it because I had a hard time with Python because I was used to drag and drop editors. Now, I'm like, why would I use a drag and drop editor? Typing's so much faster, which is why things like Tosh exist. What? That's not what I typed. Tosh. Let me pull it up. This right here. Um, yeah. Um, However, wow, it is good for a new user. It's just, I feel like there should be a spot where you can get the real code for it so that people know that not all programming is just drag and drop, in my opinion. This video is going to get a lot of dislikes. Yeah. And I used Scratch for around 2 years. I would show you, but my username has my first name on it, so I'm not going to show you my Scratch stuff. Yeah. So, my other issue with Scratch is, I'm not completely, completely mad about the drag and drop thing. It's an easy way to get introduced into programming, like logic and stuff, even though I'll admit Scratch doesn't have any syntax errors, and you might get confused when you see a syntax error for the first time, like I did when I was learning Python. I was like, "Is Python broken?" I didn't realize it was an issue with my code. I thought it was an issue with Python. Um, but Scratch doesn't have syntax errors, so it might confuse some new people moving on from Scratch. But anyways, let's get back on track. Um, Another issue I have with Scratch is it's hard to share a Scratch project without using the website. So let's say you made a brand new Scratch project and instead of giving it out for free, you want to sell it. Well, too bad. Um, Everything on the website is available for free. Um, and yeah, um, well, you could just embed it onto your website. No, you can't because while you can embed it onto your website, only you need to have it shared to be able to embed it. If you don't share it, then no one can access it except for you, which means you can't embed it on your website. Um, and I'll admit there is one exploit to this. Um, Let me find it. Here it is. Sulfurous, and there's two things. It's Proporis and Sulfurous. I'm gonna use Sulfurous because it's more accurate in my opinion. But this right here, um, this lets you run Scratch using HTML, and you can embed stuff with it, and use private. You can use unshared programs, which is a bug with Proporis and Sulfurous, is that if a program isn't shared, you can still access it. So even if it isn't shared, you can still access it using these two things. So, like I said, if you're trying to sell it, anyone can still use it for free if they know how. Well, you could just give them an SB2 file or an SB3 file instead. They'd have to, or an SB, just an SB file. You'd have to first download Scratch. SB3 is for the new Scratch 3.0. But first you'd have to download Scratch, so I'll just show you through the AUR. First you'd have to download Scratch. Holy crap, I can't type. First you'd have to download and install Scratch, and then you'd have to open it up and select the file, which isn't the easiest thing to do for someone you're trying to buy their game. And if they got mad at you or something, they could share your project for everyone to get for free. I'll admit that's against the community guidelines, but for Scratch, but you still can do that. So I wish there's a way you could convert it to an HTML file for the new Scratch 3.0, or for the older Scratch 2.0 projects, you can use JuneBeetles, or you could publish it as an SWF. While you can use JuneBeetles Scratch to SWF converter, it has some issues with it. Other than that, though, Scratch is good. It's just there are a couple issues with it. It's not a perfect program, and I prefer something like Python. If you were able to export it out into a SWF file, an HTML file, or even an EXE, that'd be cool. Then I'd like it a lot more. And you can convert it to an EXE file it's a tedious process. By getting an SWF file from JuneBeetles Converter, which by the way isn't officially supported. I just want to say, it's not, you don't get official support from the Scratch team using JuneBeetles Converter because it's not official. But you could use JuneBeetles Converter and then use an AX web browser inside Visual Studio VB.net in order to get it to run the SWF file and turn it into an EXE basically. However, that's way too complicated for Scratch's target demographic, young kids and people beginning to learn programming. So yeah, that's my conflicting thoughts on scratch.mit.edu. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See ya.